Hi there, Northumberland. I'm Jan Spragge, and you're listening to the Jan Spragge Show here on Northumberland 89.7. We're live streaming worldwide at our website, northumberland897.ca. Boy, do I have a treat for you today. Our studio's packed with songwriters and musical talent. Jonathan Byrd is generally known as one of the top 50 songwriters of our times. Sounds just about right to me, because when JByrd and the Pickup Cowboys take the stage, they hold captive their audience in a lazy-daisy drift down a storytelling river like I've never seen. It's a true pleasure to be mesmerized by the lyrics and talents of these musicians as they invite you on a tour of unknown spaces. So grab your inner tube and drift with me today as we chat with singer-songwriter Jonathan Byrd, the Pickup Cowboys Johnny Waken and Paul Ford, as well as their current opening act, the talented Eliot Bronson. Welcome to the Northumberland 89 studios today, guys. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having us on, Jan.
Nice to be here.
It's great. It's, you're currently on tour together, and you brought Eliot along, which is much to the pleasure of the audience. Tell us, what's it like being on tour together as a group, and how long have you toured?
Oh, how long? Well, I've been touring professionally for about 15 years. This is Jonathan Byrd, by the way. About 15 years. And the Pickup Cowboys, we've been working together about 6 years, but mostly around in the southeast, closer to home. In the past couple of years, we've been going out more and more. Last year, we were here in Ontario, had a great tour. This is our second tour in Ontario, although I've been coming here since 2006. But it's really great to have them along. Eliot, I don't know, how long have you been touring?
I can't really, honestly, I can't even remember.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it in different sort of forms. But in the current form, what I'm doing these days, songwriter kind of thing, I'd say the last 3 or 4 years pretty solid.
Mm-hmm. And this tour, this is 2 weeks, so we started on March 13th, and we're leaving the country on March 27th, if any immigration officers are curious out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know there's a lot of fans who are interested. And, we could spend a lot of time on that upper level about the band and touring and different things, but I think what really speaks to me and certainly speaks to your fans, and I think surely with Eliot's fans as well, is the songwriting and just the mesmerizing effect of it. So I wondered, perhaps you could tell me a story, Jonathan Byrd, by song here.
Actually, when we start with Eliot, they were just working on this great song, and I'd love to hear it. It's called "Talk to Mama." Is that right?
And it's called Time Ain't Nothing.
Time Ain't Nothing. It's called Time Ain't Nothing.
You guys want to do it?
I don't know nothing.
We actually never played this before together, so this will be actually a debut. I think it's over here.
Put a little something in my cup. Get the boys and pack the truck. We're gonna talk to mama now. Feel the wheels on an old dirt road. Clear the weeds from her headstone. And talk to mama now. It's days like these I wish she was around. Time ain't nothing but a thing we waste. Time ain't nothing but a thing we waste. Years gonna end up on your face, but time ain't nothing. Time ain't nothing. Time ain't nothing but a thing we waste. People around here don't know why I scream. People can't hear the things I mean. I'm gonna talk to mama now. 'Cause they don't believe in anything at all. Who you turn to when you fall. I'm gonna talk to mama now. Wonder what she'd say if she was around. Time ain't nothing but a thing we waste. Time ain't nothing but a thing we waste. Oh, years gonna end up on your face, but time ain't nothing, time ain't nothing, time ain't nothing but a thing we waste. Late last night I couldn't sleep at all. Half awake and I heard a call. She said, talk to mom now. Time ain't nothing but a thing we waste. Time ain't nothing but a thing we waste. Oh, years gonna end up on your face. Lose those things that you can't replace. And time ain't nothing, time ain't nothing, time ain't nothing but a thing we waste.
My Eliot Bronson, that was beautiful. Could you tell me what inspired that song?
Yeah, that song actually is a little unusual for me because that's like a song I wrote not in my own voice, which is, I mean, they're not always, I guess, in my voice, but I'm usually in there. And this one I was inspired by my mom and her mom, so that was kind of like me imagining what she might say kind of through that song.
Just beautiful.
Thanks.
Okay, this storytelling, and here we are in the Northumberland 89 studios, and as I was saying earlier when the guys were getting ready, you guys could sound great in a paper bag. I mean, it's just amazing.
We've
what
tried
a
that.
Pleasure. What a pleasure to be in here. It really is. What's important about being out on the road with your music? It seems to me in talking to musicians over the time that it seems to be a drive, a passion to be out on the road.
For me, it's the connection and the sharing, and the way songs have a life of their own. Like once you write a song and it gets out there, if it's done right, I feel like they're like kids. You kind of let them go out into the world, and even the conversations that you have with other people. Like Shauna Casby came to our show last night here in Coburg, and she brought me her latest CD, and the first song on it is called Anchor, and it was inspired by a conversation that we had at a business conference for a folk music business conference, and we had this conversation about being on the road and deciding to be on the road and keeping some sort of anchor, keeping your family in mind, keeping your friends in mind, the things that you love to do, and not losing that when you're out there on the road. So she wrote a song called Anchor, and it's the first song on her CD, which she gave to me last night, which is this continuing conversation of music and spirit between us and our fans and between each other, that I think is the culture. I mean, and culture, like, I mean, almost in the way that yogurt is a culture. You know, there's like this bacteria, there's this organism that travels around and that infects other things. It's like the same culture is the same thing. It's a conversation. It's the ideas that we infect each other with, that make the culture that is important to us.
I can imagine it is, and just for instance, having Eliot out on the road, and I know that Paul, you and I were talking after the concert last night, and the importance of like you say, bumping up against other musicians in that sense, and how that inspires you, as well as making space for younger musicians. You spoke to that, Paul. Can you talk a little bit about that for us?
I just think it's great to have a generational connection. People that are in front of you, you're learning from them, and then the people that are behind you that are coming up, the younger people, you're learning from them too. And then you're just kind of in the middle of that, and you have influences on either side, and you're just trying to make a connection and be part of that continuous thing, be part of that circle. So it's really kind of cool. On an artistic level and on a social level.
Yes, I would think on both, and that way every tour you're out on is slightly different. And then again, like you say, with being with your fans, and I'm sure that has influences. And it must be quite an incredible experience to then have that feedback when you're playing, to watch how people are responding to your music, and depending on how you play, what order even you might play songs in.
Sure. And I've it took me about 10 years of going to the CD table because I want to sell CDs, because I need to bring money home to my wife, or I won't be able to do this anymore. So, but I'm a shy person. I don't want to go talk to people after the show. I want to go hide and recuperate and regain my sort of like my little bit of social energy. But making myself go to the table to sell CDs has really changed the way that I think about art and the way that I think about what I'm doing, because people show me tattoos that they've gotten from my album artwork or my lyrics, or they named their children after things in my songs, and it's just incredible the way people use music almost like a flashlight through the darkest times in their lives, and it changes the sense of, it gives me a sense of what I'm really doing when I'm on the road. But sometimes it's hard to forget when I'm on stage, or sometimes it's easy to forget rather when I'm on stage that it's not about me. It's not about me putting myself out there. And if it really is about me, then it doesn't seem like a useful thing to do. But it's not about me. It's about what happens when I put that out there and what people bring back.
Yeah, and I think one of the things in being in the audience that was remarkable to me is no matter what the subject matter is, for instance, I've never been in a semi-truck, but the song that centers around that, and when I looked out at the audience, people are resonating with the story. Because it's a story, they're still resonating with music, even though they may have not had experience, or it may not be a part of their life, and that seems fairly unique in the way that there's something about the story. Mm-hmm. I'm not even. Can you speak to that at all?
Well, story is that's how we learn things, really, more than memorizing things or that sort of. I think stories are important because that's the way we work as humans. We tell each other stories, and the truth, even in fiction has a truth that sort of transcends historical accuracy. The truth of human nature, the truth of who we are, and having children and watching our older people pass away, and having fun and doing important things. All those stories that we tell, we're just telling each other that we're not alone.
Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Jonathan Byrd, as well as the Pickup Cowboys, Johnny Waken and Paul Ford, and their current opening act, Eliot Bronson. Could you tell us one of your amazing stories, Jonathan?
But you want me to play a song? Is that,
please.
Okay, yeah, sure. Listen, so Eliot did something unusual in that he told, sang a song in the voice of his mother, and I'm going to sing a song in the voice of a rooster with power tools. So. 2, 3.
she's a good old hen. Lord, I hate to fence her in. She been running around with all the chicks. It ain't nothing a little chicken wire won't fix. A chicken wire lets the sun shine through. It ain't much to look at, but it'll have to do. My old hen, she got a roving eye. I guess I need a little chicken wire.
Oh, Johnny.
Rooster, rooster, don't you cross that line. That hen you're looking at is mine. And I'm the only rooster in this yard. Stay on your side of that chicken wire. The chicken wire, let the sun shine through. It ain't much to look at, but it'll have to do. My old hen, she got a roving eye. Lord, I guess I need a little chicken wire. Chicken wire, let the sun shine through. It ain't much to look at, but it'll have to do. My old hen, she got a roving eye. Lord, I guess I need a little chicken wire. One more time. Oh, I guess I need a little chicken wire.
That's fantastic. It's Johnny. It's Jonathan Byrd and the Pickup Cowboys. And, Johnny, I've never seen anyone have more fun on stage, I don't think, than you. But I have to say, I would like to be able to do the chicken noises and go on tour with you guys, if that's okay.
Sure.
Nice. Can I at least audition for it?
Nice.
So,
There's a hat you have to wear, though.
What?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a little red hat
I'll
that you
let
have
it
to
that
wear
way.
to
Yeah.
do that.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
okay. I don't
yeah.
mind doing that.
Okay.
It's not an issue at all.
Okay.
I'll even dye my hair red.
Nice.
So, Johnny, tell me, obviously, what a passion for you. And I know, like night after night, it must be a lot to go out there, but obviously it is a passion. Can you speak to what it is about being on the road that's important for you?
Oh gosh, my mom always wanted me to play music, and I do a lot of other stuff. Both Paul and I have whole other lives. We left the business years ago for a number of years and got back into it. But we kind of branched out. I do a lot of primitive skills, archery, crafts, and all this stuff. And but like I said, my mom always was like, I wish Johnny would play more music. And lo and behold, we found Mr. Byrd. And Paul and I were always pretty picky about the people we play with. And we heard Byrd, and we loved his songs. And I just feel like it's what I'm supposed to be doing. I think it was one time early on, I stepped off stage, and there was a gentleman, an older gentleman, that had tears in his eyes. And I thought, I've hit a plateau here. I've hit a peak. And it really, I felt very satisfied, very content. I feel really good doing what I'm doing, and I like making people happy, and I like making people feel. So
You like making old men cry.
yes, that.
Tell you what, well, yeah, well, you're in the right place and with the right man if you want to make people cry, right? I mean, it really is, but just to feel, right? And
Yeah,
that was the thing.
that's
Looking
it.
around at the audience, there is so much to be said for that. It really is a journey. To be at one of your concerts is a journey. It's fantastic to listen to a CD, to listen to one of the individual songs, but to be present is quite a thing. So I urge anyone who has the opportunity to go out and be in the audience at a Jonathan Byrd and the Pickup Cowboys gig that you must travel for that. You really must. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with Jonathan Byrd and the Pickup Cowboys, as well as Eliot Bronson here on Northumberland 89.7. I'm Jan Spragge. Okay, we're back with Jonathan Byrd and the Pickup Cowboys, as well as Eliot Bronson, who's currently touring with Jonathan here at Northumberland 89.7, and I'm Jan Spragge. Jonathan, I understand you have a new album out.
Mm-hmm. I recorded in Denmark with a group called the Sentimentals. The name of the album is Mother Tongue, who's inspired by the philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, who wrote in Danish at a time when the international intellectual languages were French and German. We wrote in collaboration, myself and this guy MC Hansen. He lives in Denmark, and we sort of needed a focus for the album, for the concept, and so we decided to distill the philosophy of Søren Kierkegaard and the music of Bob Dylan, so take them apart like a tile floor and put them back together in our own way. So I can play you a song from that to sort of to demonstrate what happened with that. I was reading way too much Kierkegaard and listening to way too much Dylan, and I woke up in the morning at my wife's cousin's house. We were visiting, walked up to the kitchen, and there's a pond out there, and the sun was shining in the pond. There's sort of sun fairies on the water, and I just went really existential on the whole thing. I was like, oh, the beautiful impermanence of life, and isn't it important to anguish? All these, like, whatever, I don't know, these things that came to mind because of too much philosophy. And my wife was just asked me if I wanted, 2 eggs and how I wanted them. And she grounded me, definitely. But I sat there at the kitchen table and started writing this song, which is called Sun on the Water. 1, 2, 3.
They say that Peter wanted to fight, and now I'm feeling that way tonight. And all this passion is hard to tame, with all these voices calling my name. Sun on the water, still my mind. I come to barter all my time, loving the slaughter, killing kind. Sun on the water, still my mind. They say the end of the world is near, or maybe the kingdom of God is here, and all this crying into the night is just a turning into the light. Sun on the water, still my mind. I come to barter all my time, loving the slaughter, killing kind. Sun on the water, still my mind. Sun on the water, I wanna know how deep it is. I wanna know how wide. I wanna know, how do you keep it hid
with all this life.
Sun on the water, still my mind. I come to barter all my time. Loving the slaughter, killing kind. Sun on the water, still my mind. Sun on the water, still my mind. I come to barter all my time. Loving the slaughter, killing kind. Sun on the water, still my mind. Sun on the water, still my mind. I come to barter all my time. Loving the slaughter, killing kind. Sun on the water, still my mind. Sun on the water, still my mind. Sun on the water, still my mind.
How would you say your songwriting has changed through that album, reading all that philosophy, and or in recent years?
I don't know that my songwriting has changed just from that one record, but it changes all the time because in order to keep myself interested, I have to keep changing my process. So a very popular question in interviews is, what's your process? Well, my process is to keep changing my process so that I stay interested and so that I stay in discovery mode. As if I feel like if I'm not discovering new things when I'm writing, then the listener is not discovering new things when they're listening. So I'll do things like I go to a bookstore and just look through the titles of books for inspiration, or I'll take a piece of text and cut it up, take it apart, and put it back together in different ways, or I'll listen to other music and extrapolate from what they're doing, or just anything to get the fire lit while I'm writing. So this is another great way to do it, to take this old Danish philosopher and this current modern American songwriter who's made such a difference in the world of songwriting and figure out what they have in common, what's different about them, and what to talk about that relates to them.
And what do you see? Do you see something on the horizon now for you that maybe even being out on this tour that might have to do with a particular song or a feeling?
Well, there's a record that's already recorded that's called Old Crow, and I recorded it at Old Crow Studios in Whitehorse in the Yukon with Bob Hamilton. So we're working on that record. That's not out yet. And there's also another record that's written that's not recorded that will be the Pickup Cowboys record. So we have two things already, and right now I'm working on a novel, and I'm not allowed to write any songs on purpose until I'm done with the novel.
And how are you finding that process?
It's like archaeology. It's very slow, and it's like having a little brush and brushing a Tyrannosaurus bone for about 5 years until you uncover it.
And would you say that your songwriting has helped you in any particular way in being able to brush those strokes?
Oh, yeah, sure. Any writing, I think, helps all other writing, sort of in a similar way that playing other instruments helps the instrument that you're playing. So when I go and play the piano for a while, and that will give me different ideas on the guitar. And it's the same, I think, with writing.
Why a novel? Why now?
Because I have a publisher who came to a show and said, if you ever write a novel, I'll put it out. And it's a very well-known publisher and a great opportunity. So I got to work on it.
Lovely. Well, we'll look forward to that.
Thanks.
And we won't ask you when, because it's brushstroke by brushstroke.
Yeah. I have no deadline on this.
Yeah.
This century. It'll
Yes.
be out this century.
That's right.
That's great, Paul. That's good to know. Good. Well, that does give us some parameters anyway. So, good. What other songs are really speaking to you right now? Are there any that you need to have in the set? And could you play one of those for us?
I'd like to play the first song. We have a song that we like to start our sets with right now, that we've decided if you don't like this song, you should go ahead and just go home and watch some TV. So we like to start our sets with it. It really defines, I think, what I'm about as a songwriter and what we're about as the Pickup Cowboys. This is called I Was an Oak Tree. Well, I was an oak tree. It took 1,000 years to grow. I've seen kingdoms come and go. I've seen the losers turn to lords and back again. I held the rebels when they hung them from my limbs. When men of fortune cast their futures on the sea, it's when they came for me. And I was a slave ship under the standard of the cross, a hallelujah holocaust, and half were dead before we reached the other shore. And the captain never saw the coming storm that swept around the Cape and took us by surprise, and only 8 survived. And I was a campfire, a pile of driftwood in the sand, and the only comfort in this land. And 8 hungry sailors roasted acorns that they found and left me burning as they stumbled toward the sound of a church bell ringing out above the ocean's wind. And I was born again. Now I'm an oak tree out along the wild Cape Fear, and there is talk of freedom here. Where is the kingdom that was here before I came? Where have the people gone who only left their names? A revolution's just a circle after all, and every kingdom falls. Now I'm an oak tree. If it takes 1,000 years to grow, I'll see kingdoms come and go. I'll see kingdoms come and go.
Yes, a song that really does sum up your songwriting, in my estimation. Certainly one that I've put out on the show's Facebook page from time to time to highlight.
Nice.
Well, I think it is. It's a song that I know people have called into the station when they've heard it and said, "Who's that?"
Nice.
So it is nice,
That's
isn't
great.
it? It's really nice. So what's next other than the novel? What else do you have on the horizon that you have yet to do?
We just like to keep touring with the Pickup Cowboys and building what we do, and we've got some videos planned and some recording planned to put out some records, and just to keep working together and making the best use of our time together. I think we are together in part because we lost a really good friend at the age of 37, and he just died in his sleep, and it was sort of a wake-up call to us, I think all of us, to do what we really put on the earth to do and to make the best use of our times. I think the Cowboys, we're committed to each other to make some great art and to leave whatever legacy we can.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Brother Johnny.
Yeah. What's become apparent to you, Jonathan, through your work? Because you have worked with some incredible people, and you've explored some fascinating things in your own life and in collaboration with other people. What's become apparent to you about life or people? Or
We're all the same. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think all the traveling I do, all the people that I meet, all the places that I go, has taught me more than the art that I've made, for sure. And we're just all the same all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wondered if you might play us another song,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe if Eliot would would grace us with a little bit more of his music as well, that would be great.
Sure. So you want me to play a song? You want Eliot to play a song?
Well, yeah. Well, go ahead. Or if you want to do something in collaboration, whatever you like.
Yeah, we've been working on this great song, this great Eliot Bronson song. I think we should do. We actually have practiced this one.
Mm-hmm. Fine tune for y'all. All right.
Well, the lights came down and I got up. I was 18 years old, but I had enough. I had to leave just to breathe New England air. I turned around when she called my bluff. She said, put your money down, the window froze shut. The moon was the sliver of a clipping from a fingernail. Oh baby, I've been riding down these streets, trying to find out what they mean. Is two really better than one? Mississippi, two Mississippi, here I come. So stop for a spell back in Baltimore. It was hotter than hell and I was sweeping floors, working for the man with the grinning gargoyle smile. When I met a little girl up at Tupelo, she said, what's it gonna take for you to follow me home? I went floating down the river like a crocodile. Oh baby, I've been riding down these streets, trying to find out what they mean. Is two really better than one? Mississippi, two Mississippi, here I come. Girls and I go on forever. I've never seen the light of dawn. I've weathered whatever came along. Hey! Trying to find out what they mean. Is two really better than one? Mississippi, two Mississippi, and I've been riding down these streets, trying to find out what they mean. Is two really better than one? Mississippi, two really better than one? Mississippi, two Mississippi, here I come.
Catchy tune. Actually was humming that to myself after heading home.
Thanks.
So that was nice. Yeah. So Eliot, tell me a little bit more about what's on the horizon for you.
Well, I just made a record and it came out at the end of last year, and so I'm still touring and promoting that record. We are maybe making a video coming up, but I'm also writing all the time, and maybe a new record this year too.
Well, I sure hope so, and I know all your
Thanks.
fans do too. That's
Thanks.
good. How do people find out more about where they can catch you live and your music?
Well, they can go to EliotBronson.com, Eliot with one L. And of course, I'm on Facebook and all that, internet stuff.
Great, good.
Yeah.
That's nice. And I hear that the Pickup Cowboys have a website and a blog that people can get a hold of you as well.
Yeah, we're kind of, Paul and I are kind of just starting this thing out, trying to still get the glitches out and stuff. But it's called pickupcowboys.com, and it is going to be a way that our fans can kind of see what we're up to, especially on the road. And like I said, it's a work in progress, but it's going to be something fun that we can share with our fans. And
I think it's a part of our age now, isn't it? Exposing the work and process. It's a part of what people expect now. They don't want to just have that finished product.
Yeah.
Have you seen that during your musical career?
Well, I mean, when Paul and I were playing together, 20 years ago, it was a whole different world. And now it's like, if I went to see Jonathan, the Pickup Cowboys, I'd be like, that was great, and I'd want to get on the web and learn more and stuff like that. So this is what we're trying to accomplish, trying to get on. It is the 20th century.
John?
Yeah.
It's 21st, actually, 21st century.
It's the century that Jonathan's book comes
I was
out.
going to say, yeah.
It's like you guys
That
keep the
highlights it.
perspective.
But having a good web presence is something that we are kind of new to in this kind of thing, and we're just trying to get it together.
And as a part of that, as Jonathan, you were saying, you sort of see yourself as a shy person, although you really put yourself out there in your work. So is putting yourself out there on Facebook, in social media, on blogs, is that something that affects the work in any way, or that is difficult?
It just takes time. It takes time away from the work sometimes. But I try to be creative on those things. Like on Facebook, I'll sort of write a chapter of our story. So if you hit read more on the status, and it just folds out for 2 pages. But it's a creative writing exercise that I'm giving my fans, hopefully more of what they enjoy when they come to see the music. Or sometimes somebody will capture some great video from one of our shows, and we'll put that out there so people can see it. And there's nothing it's not really me. Like I'm not actually relating to people when I'm on the internet. So it's not a social thing. And it's really anti-social media. You're sitting in a coffee house with 12 other people and 12 other phones, and they're all engaged with their phones. They're not actually engaged with each other at all. So it doesn't bother me actually in the same way as going to the CD table and talking to real people. It doesn't affect me in the same way at all.
Mm-hmm. We're talking today to Jonathan Byrd and the Pickup Cowboys, as well as Eliot Bronson, who's currently touring with Jonathan. Gosh, I want to keep you guys here all day, but I know I have to share you with the world, and you need to get back out on tour. So would you indulge us with one more tune to before you head out on the road?
Sure, let's do one more. You want to do Love is the Law? Yeah. It's a good one. Then we'll play another one from the new record, and this is extrapolated from a Bob Dylan song called Lay Lady Lay. That's where we got the music and the scansion of the poetry. And then the subject matter and the lyric is sort of tessellated from an essay by Kierkegaard that was built on a passage from Romans that says love is the fulfillment of the law. And this is called Love is the Law.
Love is the law, love is not ruled by laws. Love is the law, love is not ruled by laws. The holy fire burning in your heart can't be divided like light from dark. Love is the law, love is not ruled by laws. All is enough, less is not love at all. The law is just despite every rise and fall. The king is dead, long live the king. What can we give him who has everything? All is enough, less is not love at all. Love is the law. Love is the law. You can't run and you can't hide. The blackest fruit has a seed inside. Love is the law, love is not ruled by laws. All is enough, there is no higher call. Every light shines from a single flame, and you shall love is heaven's name. All is enough, there is no higher call. Love is the law. Love is the law.
That's Jonathan Byrd and the Pickup Cowboys. There's something about your music that there's some kind of reminder that there's much more out there in many different ways. So thank you for that reminder.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having us on, Jan.
Well, sure.
Yeah,
And how do people get a hold of you and find out where they can catch you live, Jonathan?
JonathanByrd.com is the website, and the Facebook page is very active. I post things all the time as we're going along, videos and writing journals from the road. So that's just Facebook.com/JonathanByrdMusic. They could find me, or just search Facebook and Jonathan Byrd. And I'm not the golfer or the IndyCar driver or the weightlifter.
Right. No.
Nor am I the cafe in Indianapolis, Indiana, the largest cafeteria in the world.
Whoa. Okay, and that's where I got all my material for this interview. That's too bad. Oh, well. Anyway, I guess, like I say, I'll have to let you go back out into the world and let me know when you want me to dye my hair red. And I'll catch up with you guys.
Awesome.
So, yeah. Well, thank you very much. What a pleasure. Thanks for letting me share this with my listeners. And we'll look forward to you being at a venue near us. And like I say, keep your eyes posted, because these guys are a must-see, so do make sure you catch Jonathan Byrd and the Pickup Cowboys at a venue close to you, and keep your eyes peeled for Eliot Bronson. So thanks very much for joining us today on the Jan Spragge Show. I'm Jan Spragge, and we'll tune in next time. Take care. Thank you for coming in here and roasting.
Awesome. Great rehearsal. You guys ready to do the show now?
So now you can go out and you guys don't need to rehearse.